Today we're going to be creating castles, but more importantly, we're going to be making animations. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is get inspired for our castle, then jump into SketchUp. I'm going to give you guys a lot of freedom in terms of what you want your castle to look like, but I'm going to recommend you sort of start with this foundation. I'm going to click the circle tool and keep it simple and make 4 circles like so. And this is going to be relatively symmetrical. Great. Next step, I'm going to select the eraser tool and delete these interior 4 quarter circles, and I'm going to use the push-pull tool to pull these sort of outer cylindrical structures up. Alright, because we know we need our castle to be well defended. Great. And then we're going to pull up this interior space a little bit, but it's going to be lower than the 4 outer cylindrical shapes. Great. So the next step, once we got something that looks a little bit like this, is to click on the pencil tool. I'm going to select the corner, this sort of interior space where it says endpoint, and go to the edge, like so. And what I'm going to do now, you can do on each of the 4. I'm going to now select the move tool. It's right next to the push-pull. And I'm going to select this sort of interior spot where it says endpoint, and I'm going to pull up. And if we pull up just right, where it says on blue axis, we kind of create this cool cone effect. That looks pretty nifty. Alright, that looks pretty cool too. Let's do pencil. Pull it out. Let's see how this one works. Move tool. When you're done, you can certainly start adding colors, shapes, and textures, although I'm going to recommend just for today that we do not go into the 3D warehouse and add any components, and you're going to see why in a little bit, but let's take a look at this. Great. So one final tool. This is our introduction to the offset tool. What I'm going to do now is click on this tool right here where it says offset, right next to the rotate tool, and now I'm going to click on the inside, click once, and then I'm going to click again. This is going to create our wall. It creates a space, and I'm going to use the push tool, push down. We can go really deep, but we'll keep it right now like so. So we've got a little bit of a basement. That's where we can store our arsenal. Great. Now, what do we do to create animation? We're going to click on window. We're going to click on scenes, and this particular window opens up. So when I see right here this plus sign, it says add scene. I'm going to show you what this means in just a minute. Actually, it's a little deep. Alright, that looks a little bit better. To create an animation, you're going to want to find a spot, a perspective of your geometry, and you're going to click this particular button. That looks good, and I can see now what looks like a layer in the layers palette in Photoshop opens up, although it's not quite. You're going to see why. I'm going to now orbit around. I'm going to orbit to the right. I'm going to add a new scene. I'm going to continue going what looks like counterclockwise, and I'm going to add this scene. And so what's really important is the perspective when you're adding scenes. So now I've got 4 scenes, and let's check out how animations work. I'm going to click on scene 1 on this particular tab, and it's going to bring us to our initial spot. I'm going to right click on scene 1 and then click play animation. And there's going to be a brief pause, and then it's going to start rotating around, and we can see that's scene 2. It zooms in a little bit to scene 3, finally scene 4, and then it loops. So I like that, but one of the things I don't like is that little lull, that delay between each scene. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to click on View, Animation, and then I'm going to click on Settings. And I can see that we've got scene transitions, which are good. Right now they're at 2 seconds, and you can experiment with that later, but beneath that we have scene delay. I'm going to change this from 1 to 0, and I'm going to press OK, and hopefully that will do the trick. I'm going to click scene 1, right click, play animation, and let's see if it works. There you go. So the delay is minimal, just a very, very brief pause. That looks pretty cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today I want you to send me your castle as an SKP file along with 4 animation scenes in which you're orbiting around your structure. Good luck.